Good afternoon. Welcome to the March concert of the North Miami Concert Band. My name is Lainey Brooks, and it's my pleasure to welcome you back for another amazing afternoon of incredible music. It will be my pleasure to act as your guide through today's performance. Today, our artistic director, Bruce Bailey, has chosen music that highlights the countries of Northwestern Europe, including France, Belgium, Norway, England, and of course Ireland, in honor of St. Patrick's Day. Plus, what would an afternoon be without the North Miami Community Band doing some invigorating march music? Without further ado, please give a hearty round of applause as we greet our talented artistic director and conductor, Bruce Bailey. And if you are able, please rise as we join Richard Turpin in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Thank you. Our first presentation today is called Ireland. It's arranged by Warren Barker. At the age of 24, Warren Barker was appointed chief arranger for the National Broadcasting Company's prime musical program, The Railroad Hour, a position he held for 6 years. Barker, who passed away in 2006, was associated for many years with 20th Century Fox, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Columbia Studios, as well as Warner Brothers and Capitol Records. He composed and conducted music for more than 30 television series. The National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences honored him in 1970, and he was a member of the arranging group for Hello, Dolly. In this medley of Irish songs arranged by Barker, you will be hearing a rollicking version of St. Patrick's Day, Donnybrook, the Irish Washerwoman, and the Kerry Dance, plus one of the most beautiful of all the Irish melodies, I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen. Actually, this was not a ballad imported from the Emerald Island at all. In 1876, composer Thomas Westendorf, a school teacher living in Indiana, penned this affectionate love song while temporarily separated from his wife Jenny, but obviously seeing Kathleen. But that doesn't matter because our band plays everything well, whether it be for Jenny or Kathleen. Here now is Ireland, arranged by Warren Barker. fun way to open the day. Valdres Norwegian March by Johannes Hansen, one of Norway's most influential bandmasters during the first 40 years of the 20th century. Hansen was born in a small town near Oslo and played in a military band in Oslo as a young boy. Later, he became bandmaster of the Oslo Military Band and received many honors in his lifetime, including the King's Order of Merit in Gold. The title of this march, Valdres Norwegian March, has both geographic and musical connotations. Valdres is a beautiful region in Norway between Oslo and Bergen. The first three measures contain the signature fanfare of the Valdres Battalion, which is based on an ancient melody formerly played on a lur, L-U-R, which is a straight wooden trumpet, which sounds like a clarinet to me. No? Anyway, it was first performed in 1904 with the composer himself playing the baritone horn. We now present Johannes Hansen's most famous composition, the Valdres Norwegian March. up, we have Stranger on the Shore. This is a piece written for clarinet by Acker Bill for his young daughter, and it was originally named Jenny after his daughter. It was subsequently used as the theme tune of a BBC TV drama serial for young people, also called Stranger on the Shore. It was first released in 1961 in the UK, where it was a phenomenal success, becoming the best-selling instrumental in the UK of all time. It actually sold 1.16 million copies as of 2012. In 1962, it became a major songwriting success for Robert Mellon when he wrote lyrics for the instrumental smash, allowing it to be covered by many other artists, most prominently a vocal version by Andy Williams, a group vocal version by the Drifters, and a soprano sax smooth jazz adaptation by Kenny G. But no one can play it as well as our North Miami concert band, featuring our very own concertmaster and soloist, Anatoly Yurovitsky.
think of him as a classically trained clarinetist, but he can play pop too, which is really great for us.
Pop or classical, that was absolutely magnificent. For those of you who are new with us today, you will notice that we have a fabulous costume department over in the percussion section over there. And next up we have Ballet Parisian. Oh, I was hoping for some tutus, but I guess not. Three threes. Okay, Ballet Parisian by Jacques Offenbach. Jacques Offenbach died in 1880, yet it is his name that is attached to this ballet that first appeared in 1938. While the tunes in Gaieté Parisienne are his, much of the orchestration, arrangements, and the idea for the ballet were conceived by others. However, the scenario they contrived was taken from Offenbach's operetta La Vie Parisienne. The story concerns the seedy patrons of a Paris bistro called Tortoni's Restaurant, an actual business establishment. There are many amorous adventures in the ballet, with the story centering on two men. A baron who chases after a young woman selling gloves, and a Peruvian who pursues a relationship with a flower girl. It is all quite mischievous, fun, and colorfully packaged. The premiere in 1938 at the Teatro de Monte Carlo was a great success. Much of the music in Gaieté Parisienne, of course, was already familiar when it was first presented, which may have added to its success. The popular Can-Can, for example, is taken from Offenbach's operetta Orpheus in the Underworld. The familiar Barcarolle, which closes the ballet, comes from the Tales of Hoffmann, his last operetta. Here now is Ballet Parisienne in 5 movements by Jacques Offenbach. we actually allow you and encourage you to dance. I did not see, right, we need to see some can-canning next time. We'll give you some warning, right? We'll give you a little warning. Our next piece, Royal Welsh Fusiliers March, is by John Philip Sousa. And we love our Sousa marches, which is how we want to end our first half of the performance, after which we will have a very brief, we always say brief intermission, and then you chat and you talk and you say hello. And it's wonderful. But now we have the Royal Welsh Fusilier March by John Philip Sousa. The Commandant of the Marine Corps requested this march in honor of the association of the United States Marine Corps with the Royal Welsh Fusiliers during the 1900 Boxer Rebellion in China. Sousa wound up writing two versions because the first version was merely a medley of well-known Welsh tunes. He was asked to please present an original march. He was then given the honor of traveling to Britain to present the score. On his return to New York, as he embarked the gangplank, he turned to give an admirer an autograph, and he received a deep cut on his forehead which required several stitches as he stumbled. The ship's captain pointed out that what might otherwise have been a routine docking would now be given considerable publicity. In his characteristic humor, Sousa assured the captain that he was glad to be able to oblige. Here now is the Royal Welsh Fusiliers March by John Philip Sousa. Let's start our second half of the program by welcoming back to the podium our wonderful conductor, Bruce Ballet. Our first piece Rule Britannia. Thomas Augustine Arne was born in London in 1710. His father was an upholsterer who wanted Thomas to be a lawyer or a solicitor. However, Arne was so keen on music that he smuggled, this one I love, he smuggled a spinet into his room, and dampening the sounds with his handkerchief, he would secretly practice during the night while the rest of the family slept. He also dressed up as a liveryman in order to gain access to the gallery of the Italian opera. Upon leaving school, Arne was articled to a solicitor for 3 years, becoming a lawyer. However, one evening, Arne's father discovered his son leading a group of musicians on a musical gathering. Following this disclosure, and learning about his son's real interest and talent, he was persuaded to allow the young Arne to give up his legal career and to pursue music for a living. Arne went on to become a composer, best known for the patriotic song Rule Britannia. He also wrote a version of God Save the King, which was to become the British national anthem, and the song A Hunting We Will Go. Arne was the leading British theatre composer of the 18th century, working at Drury Lane and Covent Gardens. He died in 1778 and is considered possibly the best British composer of the 18th century. Here now is Rule Britannia.
How many people do we have from Great Britain here? I know we have a few out here. Stick up your hands there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many in the band are from Great Britain? He's from England, but the other ones are from Russia. Maybe they just think they're taking over.
One of our audience members who's from England has a green tie on because he was born on St. Patty's Day and his name is Patrick. So we want to say happy birthday to him and rule for him.
I know Patrick and he's no saint.
makes you want to sit up straighter, doesn't it? Now we have a fun thing, Hirt medley. Hirt, big, 6'6" bearded Hirt had been recording for 9 years. Okay. Is that because you couldn't find a costume? You could have put a beard on. Right. Big 6'6" bearded Hirt had been recording for 9 years, mostly leading a small jazz band, before he suddenly became a national phenomenon in 1964 through this recording of Java. His forte was playing lead trumpet, the role he had played in the big bands of Tommy Dorsey and Jimmy Dorsey and others. Despite his years on the recording scene, however, Hirt had never really had a hit under his own name, until he went to Nashville to have Chet Atkins produce some of his material. Hirt's first session in Music City resulted in his first million-seller Java, on which his trumpet playing was bright, catchy, and extremely engaging. When Java took off, Hirt said a year or two later, the whole catalog of my older stuff started moving. Hirt went on to score several other hits, including Cotton Candy and Sugar Lips, all of which we are about to hear in this fabulous Hirt medley.
1, 2, 3, 4.
the always wonderful John Branzer on trumpet. Next we have March of the Belgian Paratroopers by Pierre Leemans. Pierre Leemans, a Belgian musician and composer, lived from 1897 to 1980. One of his best-known pieces is March of the Belgian Paratroopers. While he was serving his year of military duty at the end of World War I, Leemans' regimental commander asked him to compose a march. It was begun but never finished. Near the end of World War II, he was having dinner with a group of paratroopers and was again asked to compose a march. As the group commander drove home that night, the march theme came back to his mind, and he wrote out all of the parts for the official March of the Belgian Paratroopers immediately after reaching home. A quiet, unaggressive essay in the easy-paced European style, it is set in the form of a patrol, with the music marching in from the distance, playing and then passing by. Here now is March of the Belgian Paratroopers. fun, fun, fun. That's what we hope this afternoon is for you. We hope you're enjoying it. Next up, thank you. Next up is one of my favorites, songs from My Fair Lady. In the mid-1930s, Gabriel Pasquale acquired the rights to produce the musical version of George Bernard Shaw's play Pygmalion. He asked Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Lowe to write it. Finding it too difficult, they abandoned the project for 2 years. During this time, the collaborators separated, Gabriel Pascal died, and the American musical theater changed. When Lerner and Lowe reunited, they excitedly began writing the show. However, Chase Manhattan Bank was in charge of Pascal's estate, and the musical rights to Pygmalion were sought by both Lerner and Lowe and by MGM. Lowe famously challenged the studios, saying, "We will write the show without the rights, and when the time comes for them to decide who gets them, we will be so far ahead of everyone else that they will be forced to give it to us." So for 5 months, Lerner and Lowe wrote, hired technical designers, and made casting decisions. The bank, in the end, granted them the musical rights, and as they say, the rest is history. Today we're going to hear the following songs from My Fair Lady, and maybe you don't want to dance, but you certainly can sing out because I know you know these songs. My Fair Lady, the medley includes With a Little Bit of Luck, On the Street Where You Live, Wouldn't It Be Loverly, Get Me to the Church on Time, I've Grown Accustomed to Your Face, and I Could Have Danced All Night. Here now is My Fair Lady by Lerner and Lowe.
I was in London in 1962, and I saw it on stage at the Drury Lane Theatre. And there's a line, I don't know if everybody should know this show by now. There's a line in it where he's teaching her the English language, how to speak it properly, which I don't. And in there, there's a statement where he says, well, in America, they haven't used it for years. And the whole audience laughed. I'm sitting there, the few Americans are going, hey, what's the deal here? But perhaps we're trying to get a little better at it with the people from the islands coming in teaching us proper British. So, anyhow, My Fair Lady.
this afternoon, unless there are so many applause that you hint want an encore. Our final piece is the British 8th March. But before we do our final piece, it's very important that on behalf of the company, there are so many people to thank. First and foremost, we want to thank the City of North Miami, who makes much of this possible, and Miami-Dade Cultural Affairs, the Wynn Margolis Center, and most especially Bruce Bailey and this fabulous company, all of whom are volunteers. And an incredible group of musicians. Our almost final piece, hint, hint. Oh wait, did I tell you that you have to come back April 20th? Oh yeah, you have to. It's a twofer. You come into the, no, it's not a twofer. You just have to come because you're going to want to enjoy it. Okay, British 8th March. What are we wearing? We're wearing a different color marching hat. British 8th March by Zoe Elliott, born in 1891. Elliott studied at Yale University, Cambridge University, and Columbia Law School. Just like who? I don't think so. He also studied music privately with Leonard Bernstein, among others. Zoe Elliott was an American, but he had close ties with Great Britain, as do many of us, as pointed out. Since his grandfather was from England, in fact, his best-known composition is There's a Long, Long Trail A-Winding, a popular song from the era of World War I. Lloyd George, then Prime Minister of England, called it a song which helped us win the war. The British 8th March was dedicated to General Bernard Montgomery and the 8th Army after a triumphant sweep across North Africa in 1942. Following the defeat of Rommel's forces, Montgomery was promoted to Field Marshal, and he soon became the idol of the British public. In 1944, he commanded all Allied ground forces during the invasion of France, and in 1951, he became Deputy Commander of the Atlantic Pact Nations. Since the war, Zoe Elliott's impressive march has retained its popularity on both sides of the Atlantic. Here now is the British 8th March by Zoe Elliott. Okay, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we're going to play the Irish Washerwoman, after which we wish you a wonderful afternoon. No more clapping. The Irish Washerwoman is a selection from the Irish Suite by Leroy Anderson, and which was commissioned by the Erie Society of Boston, and is dedicated to Arthur Fiedler, who, as you all will remember, conducted the Boston Pops Orchestra for many years. The first selection of the suite is the Irish Washerwoman. It is a lively, familiar tune that features a double jig and a whole lot of good-natured Irish exuberance. On behalf of the North Miami Community Band, and in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, I know you will enjoy this infectious little piece.
We also want to thank our hat people over here. I'd like to thank Irvin for his marvelous set drumming, because when we do these pop tunes, we just got to have a good drum set.
afternoon, everybody.